In B2B SaaS, closing the deal is only half the battle. Revenue doesn't start flowing until your software is successfully integrated into the client's workflow. Today, enterprise clients expect your application to live directly inside their internal dashboards. They want to embed your product seamlessly without forcing their employees to jump between different tabs and logins. But dropping a complex web app into an external site immediately triggers a major technical roadblock: cross-origin resource sharing, or CORS. Modern web browsers are built for strict security. When your app tries to load inside a different company's domain, the browser steps in and actively blocks third-party cookies and authentication tokens to prevent data theft. To get around this, your engineering team usually has to build a custom, secure reverse proxy for every single new enterprise client. Building and maintaining those custom gateways pulls your best developers away from your core product roadmap and turns them into full-time integration support. This technical friction has a direct business cost. Every week spent fighting proxy configurations is a week of delayed integration, meaning a stalled sales cycle and delayed revenue. Xuda's Embed deployment offers a managed infrastructure alternative to building those custom reverse proxies from scratch. Instead of writing custom code, it allows you to secure iframe or widget integrations using a standardized copy-paste snippet. Because the infrastructure is managed by Xuda, complex application routing and real-time data synchronization are preserved automatically when embedded. You can deploy this way without making any modifications to your underlying core application codebase. The decision to use this feature comes down to a clear trade-off: taking on mandatory managed infrastructure costs in exchange for hundreds of hours of saved engineering time. Evaluating Xuda Embed requires treating the platform as a direct investment in sales enablement rather than a standard developer utility. This diagram shows how Xuda handles browser security limits using domain-based access control. Rather than fighting CORS protocols, Xuda operates by strictly whitelisting approved host domains. Only traffic coming from those specific predefined URLs is allowed to pass securely to your app and APIs. From that secure filter, the system generates 3 distinct deployment formats: a standard iframe, a widget loader, or a script tag integration. The primary operational trade-off here is that this system requires strict manual domain management for every single client you onboard. Your team has to take on the administrative overhead of manually entering and maintaining these approved domain lists directly within the Xuda dashboard. Because you have to know exactly where the app will live beforehand, this is distinctly different from dynamic, public widgets designed for viral distribution. You cannot use Xuda for an open web tool that anyone can embed anywhere, because unverified domains will be automatically blocked by the access control system. That loss of public distribution flexibility is the price you pay for enterprise B2B security. The strict domain requirement ensures isolation and compliance for your highest-paying clients. To customize deployments for those clients, Xuda uses a feature called the Embed launch configuration. This allows your team to define secure global variables that are entirely tailored to an individual client's instance. The outcome is that you can launch customized, production-grade versions of your app from one simple snippet. However, this creates a significant workflow shift. Configuration management is physically moved out of your central Git codebase. Your DevOps and sales engineering teams must now manage client variables inside Xuda's proprietary UI, rather than pushing configuration files through your standard deployment pipeline. You are trading centralized engineering control for increased sales team autonomy. Your sales engineers can onboard clients faster, but your developers have to adapt to managing variables outside their normal repository. Supporting these custom deployments requires you to provision specific Xuda data centers to host the embedded environments. This chart illustrates the performance tiers configuration process. You are required to allocate exact CPU, memory, and SSD resources into distinct blocks for each client portal. By using isolated performance architectures, a massive traffic spike at one client's portal will not crash or slow down the integrations for your other clients. The primary financial trade-off is a mandatory reliance on Xuda's proprietary performance tier pricing to maintain that stability. Because the embed system relies on Xuda's architecture, you cannot route this traffic through potentially cheaper internal AWS or GCP environments you might already own. That infrastructure cost and vendor lock-in act as an insurance policy. You pay a premium to guarantee isolated client experiences and protect your main application from external traffic spikes. Ultimately, Xuda Embed deployment functions as a managed infrastructure investment that replaces the need for custom code features. This quadrant chart maps ideal users. The primary target, sales engineers and B2B SaaS teams prioritizing rapid deal closures. They sit in the Xuda sweet spot, trading custom control for fast integrations. Conversely, teams building public widgets for unverified domains belong here, requiring custom gateways. The second anti-persona includes enterprise organizations bound by strict compliance mandates that legally require all edge compute to remain on their internal, self-hosted cloud. If your organization's top priority is shortening the technical time to value for new enterprise clients, paying the managed hosting costs of Xuda yields a highly favorable return on investment.